Hello, I am Howard Swenzer, an authorized OSHA outreach trainer for Barclay Brand. Today, we're here to present to you the OSHA rules and regulations regarding the safe use of personal protective equipment. This presentation will give you a quick overview of personal protective equipment, PPE, required in the workforce to protect your employees from any existing workplace hazards. Note all the multiple examples of PPE that are presently being used in the workplace. PPE is used to protect the employee from anything that could affect our eyes, our face, our head, and anything and any contaminant that we may breathe into our body. All employers are responsible to provide effective, competent training on PPE. And that training must include why it is required to be used, how to maintain it, how to clean it, how to repair it if it becomes damaged, and when to replace it if it's no longer effective. Any defective or damaged PPE must be removed from service, and all PPE must properly fit the user. All employees are required to use any PPE must have documented safety training. OSHA requires all employees to be trained on the following regarding the use of PPE: why it must be used, how to use it effectively and safely, know its limitations, and of course how to clean it and maintain it. Remember, the PPE, the personal protective equipment, is your last line of defense. If personal protective equipment, PPE, is required in the workplace by the employer must provide the PPE free of charge to the employees. Personal protective equipment, or PPE, again, is designed to protect the employees from some of the following hazards, including molten metal, which would occur during normal welding or fabricating operations, caustic chemicals, and biological and infective viruses, including blood-borne pathogens and potential airborne infections such as SARS and COVID. The PPE, the personal protective equipment, again, is used to protect the employees against hazards, anything capable of causing injury and impairment of any part of the body through any type of routes of entry, including that could happen from normal breathing, touching or rubbing something that could be ingested into our body, and anything that come in contact through our skin or our eyes. Every employee is required to have the proper PPE, and the employer must implement a PPE or personal protective program that would include engineering controls that would attempt to eliminate the potential hazards in the workplace, ventilation, isolation, and work practice controls that again could limit or eliminate the hazards existing in the workplace. Some of the personal control programs could include personal hygiene, proper hand washing, and maintenance and repairs to machinery and processes in the workplace. The employer, again, is required to complete this hazard assessment. It must be done in writing. It must be done following the guidelines set forth by OSHA. and it should be done with somebody with the knowledge and understanding of OSHA rules and regulations. One potential hazard in the workplace would be access to any blood-borne pathogens. So some of the following items listed below here include the PPE that would be required to resolve that potential hazard. In your shop or facility, after completing the hazard assessment, it may be determined that you would be required to have safety glasses, safety shoes, hearing protection, and other forms of PPE to eliminate or reduce the threat of that hazard. The hazard assessment must be reviewed annually, and an individual must be identified within the operation to be responsible to reassess the workplace for hazards, identifying and evaluating new equipment and processes, reviewing all accident records, and reevaluating the suitability of previously selected personal protective equipment. Every facility is unique, so it has to be facility specific. And we have to take in consideration how we're ordering, repairing, and maintaining all forms of PPE in the workplace. OSHA has specific standards and policies regarding the use of personal protective equipment, and it is separated by the different subjects such as respiratory protection, eye and face protection, hand protection, and hearing protection, among several others. Eye and face protection, which is defined under 29 CFR 1910.133, talks about and explains flying objects, molten metal, certain caustic chemicals, gases, vapors, liquids, and acids. Some of the additional hazards listed include biological or infectious items, blood, saliva, body tissue, and of course, potentially infectious material. So in summary, understand what OSHA requires all employers to do. Complete the hazard assessment. Implement or administer controls to eliminate hazards if possible. Issue effective PPE. Perform training for all employees required to use PPE in the workplace. And that training must be completed by a competent person. If you have any questions, comments, concerns about the OSHA requirements regarding the safe and effective use of personal protective equipment, please contact us here at Barclay Brand at salesinfo@bbfyale.com. Remember, your most important asset is your employees. So if you have any questions, give us a call. Listed below are among the subjects that we can complete the required OSHA training on. So visit our website listed below, and thank you for your time.